I managed to go from this that you see here to this that you see here. So I wasn't in the best shape. My testosterone was around 530, and I managed to increase my testosterone naturally to 800. What happens is that I started to feel first, I was training hard. I was doing cardio. I was lifting weights. I thought I was eating clean. My sleep was okay, but I felt a bit off. I felt like I had energy crashes in the afternoon. I felt sluggish. My libido sometimes wasn't the best as well. And I felt off. I felt that I was doing everything right, but my body wouldn't change no matter what. And in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to address. Not exactly how you're going to take your testosterone from 500 to 800. That's not the point. The point is to give you a framework that might help you improve your energy, improve your body composition, improve your testosterone, improve your libido, because these are the things that I used to struggle around, let's say 4 to 5 years ago, and I managed to solve that in a natural way. The problem is that I thought I was doing everything right. I was training, I was eating clean, I was moving, I was sleeping. I thought I was doing everything, so I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. I was trying, and results were not coming. I would lose a little bit of fat overall, but I wouldn't see my body changing to the physique that I wanted to actually build. And I felt low energy. I don't know, around 2 p.m., 3 p.m., I was having an energy crash, and I didn't understand why. I got blood work done, and my testosterone was 530. And my doctor told me it was normal, but for me, it's not normal. For me, being average is not good. The average person is overweight. You want to be the top 1% or top 2%. And that's exactly my mindset. I don't want to be the average. So even if the average man has 500 testosterone, I don't want to be 500. I want to be 700, 800, or perhaps even more. So I started to look for ways to optimize my testosterone levels naturally. And for me, optimal would be 700 to 800. That's the sweet spot naturally. That's perfectly achievable. And I was training harder. I was doing a more strict diet. I was cutting carbs. I was having more caffeine. And the real problem was underneath the surface. I was treating the symptoms. So underneath, I had chronically elevated cortisol. I had low testosterone, because when you have more cortisol, when you put in the work, when you start to do more cardio, lift, your body starts to react in an opposite way. What it means is that basically you start to increase cortisol, decrease testosterone. And that's exactly what's happening to my body. I was putting in more reps, more work. I was stressed. I was even compromising my sleep because I was starting to cut carbs, and my sleep was not the best as well. And then I was doing more cardio and lifting more weights, and I didn't understand what was happening behind the scenes, which is my cortisol was up, my testosterone was down. That was one of the main problems. And the thing is that you need to understand something: cortisol and testosterone compete. You cannot have high cortisol and high testosterone. Usually when you have high cortisol, you're going to have low testosterone. When you have low cortisol, you have higher testosterone. And this is what I see among executives, guys over 35 and 40, that they struggle to lose belly fat. They see some results, they work out, they move, they have their personal trainers, they do their diets, they achieve some kind of shape. You grow a little bit of your chest, your arms, you're in decent shape, but you cannot break that plateau. Like maybe you're around 20% body fat or 23% body fat, and you get to 18, 16, 15% body fat, but you cannot go below that, like to 13, 12, 10% body fat and stay there, because people think that it's not sustainable. Getting to 10 to 12% body fat is perfectly sustainable if you have the right framework. So this is basically the mistake that I was making. I wasn't understanding what was underneath the surface, which was cortisol and testosterone mostly, and also insulin levels as well. How did I change this? Not by moving more, not by eating less, by simply understanding three main levers. And these are the three levers that I'm going to talk. So just get ready, take some notes, because this will be extremely useful for you. This will save you years of trial and error. And if you understand this, fat loss is yours, and you're going to feel like yourself again. The number one lever that I started to understand was cortisol first. Now, what I did was I reduced my training volume. I was training too much, not in a smart way. I was doing bro splits, one day chest, one day back, one day legs, one day shoulders. Stop it. I started to do 3 full body workouts in a smart way. That's the thing that I started to do. I started to do 3 full body workouts, allowing my body to fully recover. I fixed my sleep, and I started to understand the importance of deep sleep, REM sleep, which is the restorative sleep, that it's actually where your body builds testosterone. 60 to 70% of your testosterone is produced during the restorative phases of your sleep. especially deep sleep. So you want to prioritize sleep. And I didn't understand this. So I fixed my sleep, especially ways to optimize my deep sleep in terms of sleep architecture, like my sleep habits. It's not just the time that you spend in bed. It's not like you sleep at 8 hours. It's better for you to sleep 7 hours or 6 hours quality than to spend 8 hours in bed. So this is the number one thing that I started to understand is the importance of restorative sleep. The other thing that I did was I removed caffeine from the afternoon completely. No more caffeine at 3 or 4 or 5 p.m. Caffeine until 12 p.m., 1 p.m. maximum, so that at least the last 8 to 9 hours before bed, I don't have any caffeine on my body. That will impact your deep sleep, even if you don't think. So you might be able to sleep. You might drink coffee at 8 p.m. and you think, okay, I'm able to sleep, but your deep sleep, your restorative sleep is not going to be the best. And that's exactly what I did. I removed caffeine after 12 p.m. And another thing that I did was I added morning sunlight. So we did the first hour or two of the day, 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight without sunglasses, bright light exposure to regulate my circadian rhythm. Very important as well, because it will regulate your rhythm. It will improve your deep sleep, REM sleep. It will give you more energy. And one of the reasons that you might be having an energy crash is because you're not having enough morning sunlight. So morning sunlight, very important to fix your energy, to boost your testosterone, to regulate your sleep and your circadian rhythm. And what was the result? Just by fixing this that I told you, morning sunlight, fixing my deep sleep, reducing caffeine intake and reducing my training load, my cortisol levels automatically decreased. And I felt that. I felt less stressed. I felt more calm. I felt my sleep was better. I felt more relaxed. I felt less reactive. And that was the main lever that I fixed, which was cortisol. Which brings me to lever number 2, which is insulin sensitivity. Insulin is a storage hormone. That means the more insulin you have, the less fat you're gonna burn. So if you're always eating, if you're eating a lot of carbs, always snacking, you will never be in a fat burning mode. Why? Because you're always releasing insulin from your pancreas to your body, and you're gonna be always in the storage mode. That's why people nowadays are overweight, and I see these people eat every 2 hours or every hour, snacking, croissant, cookies, pastries, ice cream, sodas. If you want to burn fat, you need to have your insulin levels low, or you need to control your insulin spikes. And that's exactly what I did. Instead of 6 meals per day, I started to do 3 meals per day. One meal, for example, let's say 9 a.m., then 1 p.m., then 7 or 8 p.m. That's it. No snacks in between to let my insulin go down so that I achieve this fat burning state. You need to learn how to control your insulin levels. If you learn how to control your insulin levels and keep your insulin levels low, you're going to burn more fat. First, remove processed carbs. So I remove snacks and processed carbs. No protein bars full of sugars, no cookies, no pastries, no all carbs. So I still eat sweet potato, rice. So what I do is I time my carbs according to what I have in that day. So usually I put around my workout window. I eat either before or after workout. If it's a rest day, I don't eat as many carbs. So carbs are not bad. You just need to learn what are the best type of carbs and what are the right type of carbs for you. The other thing that helped me massively was to have a time restricted eating window. What it means is that I choose 8 to 10 hours of the day to eat. For example, if I eat from 12 to 8, I eat from 12 to 8, which is called intermittent fasting. Now I'm not doing it. For example, I have a 12-hour window where I eat 3 meals, and then I don't eat for 12 hours. So if I finish my meal at 8 p.m., I don't eat until 8 a.m. But if I want to push it a little bit further, optimize my insulin sensitivity and restrict a little bit more my window and control a bit more my calories as well, I restrict to 8 hours and I eat from 12 to 8. And this helped me massively as well in terms of insulin sensitivity. The other thing that I did in terms of optimizing my insulin sensitivity was to walk 15 to 20 minutes after meals. Walking 15 to 20 minutes after meals will help massively with insulin sensitivity because it facilitates gastric emptying, which is basically your digestion. So if you fix this, then I just told you, you're going to fix your insulin, improve your energy, and feel way better. Walk after meals, less carbs, less meals, eat during an 8 to 10 hour feeding window, which brings me to pillar number 3, which is testosterone environment. And why did I have low testosterone? Because my cortisol was high. So if you fix the lever number 1 that I just mentioned, you're going to be able to naturally increase your testosterone levels. But besides the lever number 1 and number 2, in lever number 3, you're still able to do certain things that will improve your testosterone levels, such as zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D. Now, don't take just supplements for this. Try to get them naturally. Take, you have a lot of zinc, get more sunlight. For vitamin D, magnesium-rich food such as avocado, bananas, pumpkin seeds. Now, if you cannot get enough, you can supplement. For example, when I don't get enough sunlight, I supplement with vitamin D. These three, zinc, vitamin D, and magnesium, these three are directly correlated with testosterone levels. So if you're deficient in these three, you're more likely to have low testosterone levels. Then in terms of training, what I did, as I mentioned on point number 1, is I reduced my training sessions from 5 to 6 days a week, 3 smart training sessions per week, full body workouts. I removed running completely. I started to walk only zone 2 once or twice a week. Why? Because the more cardio you do, the more you're going to spike your cortisol levels. If you learn this, your body will change. The thing is that if you're running, you're going to feel great. You're going to sweat. You think that you're burning a lot of fat. You're going to feel like super excited. You're going to have those endorphins. You're going to feel great, right? After a walk, you feel normal. Like you don't have endorphins. You don't feel like great. And like you don't feel the same excitement as after a run. The thing is that when you're running, you're increasing massively your cortisol and you're compromising lean muscles. You need to decrease your cardio load. You need to do more strength training 3 days a week, cardio once or twice a week. The other days, get your steps, understand the importance of low impact activity. Walk around, move as much as you can, like 12,000 steps, 15,000 steps, or 10,000 steps is enough, as long as you're controlling the calories as well. And this is not going to increase your cortisol. It's not going to increase your appetite. If you're doing a lot of cardio, a lot of group classes, cycling, running, you're going to have more appetite. So more strength training 3 days a week in a smart way, perhaps even 4 days a week, it's fine. Less cardio once a week is more than enough. The other days, just get your steps. The other few things that I did in terms of improving my testosterone levels was cold exposure in the morning, 90 seconds to 2 minutes in the morning, cold exposure, full shower, 15, 16 degrees Celsius, improves testosterone, endorphins. It gives you a great start of the day. Of course, this is, I would say, it's a little bit overrated. So it's not like you take a cold shower and you increase your testosterone. What I'm saying is, if you do all of these things correctly, they will all help. It's not like just if you do one, it will boost your testosterone. This, of course, it's a big picture. And if you combine all of these, they will all help. It's like part of the puzzle. So cold exposure is a good help for that. And along with cold exposure, what I started to do is I increased my fat intake. I see a lot of guys cutting on fat. They go on low carb or low fat. They are afraid of fats, but fat doesn't make you fat. Healthy fat, such as avocados, nuts, extra virgin olive oil, fatty fish like, for example, sardines or salmon. These are healthy fats. If you're low on fat, you're going to have low testosterone. That's inevitable. So understand, for your testosterone to be produced, you need healthy fats in your diet. So don't go low fat. Ideally, for you to have a better body composition, for you to be lean, for you to be chiseled, for you to have good energy, a good body composition, you need high protein, moderate fat, and low carb, ideally. When I say low carb, especially if you're not moving as much, you still need carbs, especially after the workouts. But don't go low fat because it will crush your testosterone levels. And I didn't mention one important, which is probably the most important type of fat, which is eggs. But eat the egg yolk because it has a lot of vitamins, minerals, fats that will help you directly with your testosterone level.